Peace to the family, peace to the family. Hope everybody's well. Please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button. Today's topic will be the impact of finances on the relationships that you have with people around you. I'm a big subscriber that all relationships revolve around finances directly and indirectly. All relationships revolve around finances directly and indirectly.
Agreed.
If you take it scripturally, Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 19, it says that money is the answer to all things. Money is the answer to all things. Allegedly, the writer of that was Solomon. No, yes, it was Solomon who wrote that. And in writing that, it's very interesting because I would say that money is the answer to all transactions. But it can't buy happiness, it can't buy peace of mind. It can be a open door for it, but does it ultimately solve all your problems indefinitely? No. But transactions can be a conduit toward it. I remember Fabulous said one time, he said, money can't buy happiness, but it's a hell of a down payment, right? It's a hell of a down payment. Dooley, talk to the people. What do you think about that?
Man, you know, money will always be an additive. It'll never be a source unto itself, i.e. happiness, i.e. totality of awareness. Because being aware, as Eternal Beloved and I agree upon, is that it's not enough. For you to actuate in real time, in real commerce, in this society, via capitalism, you gotta have it. There's no way around it, there's no way under it, there's no way over it. If you think you're getting over it, you'll be buried behind it, i.e. debt. Buried in debt because you are projecting something that you don't have.
Facts.
That you're trying to get or ascertain, even if it's a car or education.
Facts.
Because this debt, when it comes to school, is look at the trade-off, look at philosophy. If you seek higher education for you to make more money, you need to spend that money in that education to retrieve that back. There's no way around it. And look what we do as human beings, as parents. We say to ourselves, like, look, little Eternal Beloved, go to school, get a better education, so you can get a better job to work for somebody else. Then our cycle continues. Look, you turn Beloved number 2, junior. Go to school, get a high education, blah, 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 and you never win in that cycle.
No.
You never win. Not that you'll lose, but you hit a ceiling. So as they fumble with the numbers, with the law of averages of income, with inflation and deflation, forget about it. Because then now, if you're incapable of actuating on a certain level to feed your family, to clothe your family, to provide shelter, it will reflect in love. Now it touches the intangible. What you think about that though, God?
I think that for melanated people, so-called black people, once the illusion of inclusion, once the Welfare Act 1965 came in, prior to that, the 50s, 40s, 30s, and 20s, it seems like our people were very independent and self-sufficient. They had their own bus companies, they had their own car companies, fish markets, etc. And we were very independent at that time. Once we became integrated, we lost everything. And we lost our ability to be able to produce and manufacture our own. And so we fell under the claws of someone else manufacturing for you, which is why we're in the decadence that we are right now, the poverty. You use history as a scale to draw parallels or draw lines to try to understand what you see around you and how it got this way. It didn't just get this way by accident. It's not a coinky dinky. It's a plan dinky or a plan damic inky. I'm making up words, but anyway, I digress. So these things are very relative, and you can't, as a human being, as a being that's human is the animal, being is the spiritual part. To live this life, you have to deal with transactions. You have to interface with transactions.
Agreed.
And whatever the transaction actuator is representative of that land and region that you're at, you're gonna need that in order for transactions to happen. You can't get around that. And people mess with you or feel good about being around you when you represent being self-sufficient, when you represent good energy. When you can't do transactions, you don't have good energy. It's very rare. You would have to have extreme. Who's comfortable without being able to transact or having to rely on somebody else? And you know how it is. The thing about asking for help is the help always tells after they help you a lot of times that you ain't this or you ain't that or you borrowed this. So why would you put yourself in that situation? So it goes back to the original topic of the discussion is, how does finances play a role in the interfacing or interaction with people around you? Dooley, take it away.
When you're unaware of how finances work, you're automatically put in a disposition to understand its effect. If you are born in a particular financial bracket, your awareness of what that is may be your full awareness of what it really is to you in your interpretation. If you're not taught how money works, that money's supposed to work for you, but you're born into this poverty set and you're projecting materialism to represent how much you really don't have. I've been a victim of that. Eternal Lie will tell you, I had Jordans upon Jordans upon Jordans, projecting that I'm affluent, projecting that I'm doing well, projecting that I have. I ain't got much, but I got the Jordans. You know what I'm saying?
Things we buy to cover up what's inside. Go ahead.
There you go, the bars right there.
Kanye.
And I never understood the bigger picture of cause and effect. Get what I'm saying? When you are incapable of making transactions, once you mature and have a further understanding of how transaction works, you can feel inept, you'll feel frustrated, you'll feel not yourself. You won't be able to create if you're an artist. You won't be able to aggregate if you're just a strong man or a strong person, and as to comfort yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got the house, but you can't afford to pay the light bill. You got the house, but the water now, which most homeowners know that you have to pay for water now, and property tax and so forth. All these things are lessons for you to understand what the dollar's supposed to mean to you. Now, when these things don't happen, and all of us, we have children, most of us, we do have children, they're looking at you like, why can't we have this? Why can't we have that? Well, Billy has this, Malika has this, why can't I? And then, because of your ignorance, just truly not knowing, in the true definition of ignorance, truly not knowing how it's supposed to happen, I can't give my daughter the job that I work at now. It's not mine to give to her. If I don't create something that's going to create generational wealth, and that definition may vary depending upon who you ask, I'm lost, regardless of the fact. I'm lost. And people out there, people who are watching this, you're working your 9 to 5s, your 7 to 3s, your 6 to 2s, whatever shift you work. I see black folks be working all the time. I don't know what the statistics say, but anyway, we out there. You know what I'm saying? If you don't teach your children the real rudiments of financial inner workings of how money and currency works, you're going to be lost, and the cycle is going to repeat itself. You get what I'm saying? Allow me to condense it so that I'm not going too far off topic. When you're incapable of actuating, it becomes a sickness. And the essence of that sickness is not knowing. And to find out and to know may cost you more money. And then you find yourself getting more sicker. You get what I'm saying? Find a way to break the cycle for you. He and I are very good friends. We are brothers. But his breaking of those chains is different than my breaking of chains under the same law. Find a way. Find a way. Take it easy. Sorry,
No, absolutely powerful. Intergenerational wealth calcification. You know, my journey has not been I'm self-sufficient according to being in conjunction with the system, so I'm not self-sufficient. I am them sufficient in order for me to transact in the society. Behind us, you see Black Wall Street. I always have it in the background, and what it represented, you know, full economical autonomy, if you will. And according to the story, it was destroyed in 1921. When you see how inspiring that story was, to be what, 20, I want to say 40, 50 years out of quote unquote Emancipation Proclamation, and to be able to build up an astute economy for your people at that time is nothing short of perfection. And that perfection was taken away. We can build it back again. You know, it's just a matter of, first we have to be able to trust one another. You know,
good luck with that.
And it's very hard. You know, our people are a traumatized people, if you will. And when you're talking about economics, you're talking about circulating finances and how many times it passed from hand to hand. You have a thing called velocity economics. Velocity economics is when that $1, how many hands does it pass through in a 24-hour period in order to make transactions happen in a 24-hour period. It's called velocity economics. So that is the basis of group economics. How many times in a month, in a week, in 14 days, will that dollar circulate and make things move? Because when we're talking about transactions, trans is to cross over, act is the verb, ion is the actual physical thing. That's the electron or the atom. So trans, act, ion, transaction, right? How things move from one person to another. So I'm the custodian of this now. When you give me the medium of exchange through indirect barter, I take that dollar, that debit card, that credit card, swipe it, it says accepted, I take the dollar, give you back the change, and then I give you the good. Now you're the custodian of it. The medium of exchange is what the occupying force or the landowner puts in our brain from when we're a child, that we can transact with this, right? When you lose the ability to be in a transactionary disposition, you are cut out of economics. And people don't want to deal with you no more. It takes an impact and it affects your health, your mind state, your peace of mind. Your children don't look at you with respect if you're not in that position.
Fact.
My son is 18 and I drill in him all the time from when he was 11, 12 years old. Be an entrepreneur, be an innovator, son. Be an entrepreneur, be an innovator. And he still remembers that till his day at 18. It remains to see which route he's going to take, but nevertheless, I drilled it in him. Was I living it before him? No. You know, and I found out late. The goal is to make your children find out early what you found out late.
Yes, agreed.
Because it wasn't taught to me.
Agreed.
My parents taught me the best that they could. Go out, go to school, get good grades, and go get a good job, right?
Right.
And I followed that, you know what I'm saying? And I've been at my plantation for a while. Nevertheless, that's how I pay my bills. But am I free? No, right? So I'm subject to the shackles and the roadblocks that not having those finances in place creates. Not to the point where I'm a burden to people around me, but I'm not free, because what is money but double F? Financial freedom. Money buys freedom. It buys you the freedom to live out your dreams, the freedom to travel, the freedom to strengthen relationships around you when you don't have to worry about waking up the next day to report to your business or your plantation. Freedom. I want financial freedom. I want to have the life where I don't need a vacation from. Freedom. Dooley, take it away.
Yeah. I'm just gonna hop on what you just said.
Speak on it.
That freedom and how it relates to your son. Shout out to Jabril. Jabril, I love you, fam. Our children, unbeknownst to the economic repercussions of not knowing, when they're in that transitional age into teens and these material things become their whole social structure, their whole social nucleus. You know, kids are discerning. They don't. What are those? I got teased from sunup to sundown because I'm the last of 12 kids. We just didn't have it. So you go to school, you go to junior high school, and they're just looking at you like, okay, you know, top to bottom. And the girls don't date you. The girls are not, nah. They're like, yo, dude, you cool, but I don't know about all those, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And your kids, unbeknownst to them, they have this sense of entitlement. You get what I'm saying? And it's an organic thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
But when you're not able to suffice that need to them in accordance to that social structure, they're talking, the girls are talking, the boys are talking, and again, the kids, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what the hell a bill looks like. They don't know what the hell a bank statement looks like. They don't know what the hell to get up and go to a place that you absolutely hate to feed their little rugrat ass. You get what I'm saying? They don't know about that. They just show me the outcome. Show me the outcome of your labor.
Outcome.
Mama, these Jordans coming out. Mama, my nephew talking about some Balenciagas. I'm like, yo, bro. I get it, and yeah, but nah, I'm not giving them all that bread for them right there. Find something to invest in creatively in yourself that you can take that $9, $10, $11, $1,200 and double that money. Figure it out. There's needs out there and services that you can provide in that same social structure that you're in. But I digress. When they want those outfits, and young ladies in particular, I have a daughter who's going on 16. When they want to get their hair done, their nails done, it takes money. Get what I'm saying? And when you're not capable of providing that, that's where the frustration comes in. That's where the disconnect comes in. That's where you stop talking to your son or your daughter and your son stop talking to you because they don't fully understand. Or they fully understand and they still looking at you like, what's good? Get what I'm saying? They have every right to want these things. And you can give them these things, but you better have a real sit down with them and let them know cause and effect of having your own, having financial freedom. This is what happens when you're under freedom. This is what's going to happen when you're not, when you're a slave. Because once you become aware, you're not going to become unaware of that, and then break down the repercussions of them in becoming an adult. You see the memes, all this adulting, this adulting is real. I'm one of them too, like, this adulting thing is overrated. I don't want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? I would like somebody to buy some shit for me sometimes, but guess what? That's not our reality. You know what I'm saying? But children don't know that. But if you explain it to them, perhaps they'll understand the philosophy, and then they'll find ways to contribute in ways that you couldn't even imagine. Your son and daughter's now creating ideas like, hey, Dad, if you go to construction, you work construction, but if you provide this service among your coworkers, perhaps you can build capital off of that, and we can take that and flip somewhere else. Share with them. Let them surprise you in their creativity. Get what I'm saying? And then you can you free yourself, and your children are free themselves, and then you guys can be free collectively. But it has to start with a real education and understanding fundamentally about currency and finances, so that it doesn't happen to you. Get what I'm saying? I hope I made sense in this whole presentation.
Perfect.
Go for it.
And so, just to close out, income produces outcome. So you have those numbers come in, so they can go out to extinguish the fire of bills and numbers that's slapped on items and services. And it's a constant war. You're constantly putting out fires of bills and numbers around. Right? We call it paying bills. And children's self-esteem, not just children, adults' self-esteem is built on a lot of materialism too. It ain't just them.
That's a fact.
Most of us are guilty of it too. Like Kanye, pre-Kardashian Kanye, when he said, things we cover up to buy what's inside. That was a heavy line. I'll never forget that. And I ain't gonna lie, when I get a fresh pair of Uptowns, I feel good about myself. I don't get carried away, but it feels good when you put it on, when you get that new outfit and you feeling yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because, especially for people that are quote unquote have-nots, right? You come from a have-not environment, the materialism fills the void of you not being in economic prowess, if you will, right?
Agreed.
And so, with all that being said, we're gonna close out on that. Let your last endeavor be your best endeavor. Let your last endeavor be your best endeavor. Let your financial endeavors, and the saying that money is the love, the root of money is the love of money is the root of all evil. I'm sorry. Well, I always say that the lack of money too creates a lot of evil around you. So the love of money is the root of all evil. That's the saying. But we all love to do transactions. We can't get around that. So let your last endeavor be your best endeavor. put yourself in a better financial situation to reduce the evil on the planet, to reduce your inability to transact and create the ability for your children's children. There's a saying that I want my children, I want my grandchildren's grandchildren to eat off of my finances. And with all that, peace. Salute.
Peace.